Penguin Random House Audio presents Shadowed Souls, edited by Jim Butcher and Kerri L. Hughes. Read for you by Julia Whelan, Emily Rankin, Justine Eyre, David de Vries, Mia Barron, John Lindstrom, Sumalee Montano, Mozhan Marno, Karissa Vacker, and Macleod Andrews. With a foreword read by the author.
Introduction. I love Harry Dresden. Seriously, he's the perfect guy. Deep, dark, somewhat handsome, but with a geeky streak. He knows all kinds of magic, and he stands up for his friends and family. He also has really awesome pets. Mind you, there's always the possibility of becoming collateral damage. My love for Harry isn't just a crush. I respect his journey in life. He started off as an orphan, learned to fight off bullies, and then became a force to be reckoned with. I also respect that he hasn't become a monster along the way. Harry might argue, though, that he is a monster, mainly because of that collateral damage thing, but what he has slowly come to realize is that many of the people who pretend to be good are not, and the ones who do bad things are often the ones protecting everyone. And that's where the heart of Shadowed Souls lies. I invited the authors to write a story based on the idea that good and evil are just two aspects of a complicated and very human story. I wanted the plots to play with the concept and invite the reader to explore the edges of their own darkness. I wasn't disappointed. The stories get dark, some of them get really dark, and a few of the protagonists are truly monsters. I'd still invite them to tea, though. Maybe not in my home, but definitely someplace safe. Perhaps at Mac's for a beer. I hear he brews some really good stuff. Welcome to Shadowed Souls. And remember something Jim told me. Good isn't always light, and evil isn't always dark. Kerri L. Hughes.
Forward. A pack of coyotes circled my house last night. My little dog is old and sick. His time could be close, and I imagine that they could smell that on the scents he left around the yard. They circled the house, yipping and barking, territorial challenge barks that were supposed to make him want to come out and defend his territory. Coyote sounds, but maybe an octave deeper than I was used to from coyotes. It worked. Poor little guy was frantic, pacing back and forth around the house, desperate to do his duty as he had his whole life, and go to bark at them and defend the home territory. Well, I heard 3 different animals, which probably meant that there were more like 5 of them, some making noise while others slipped around all sneaky-like. Coyotes are smart like that. But even if there were only 3 of them, 3 of the new, larger coyote-dog-wolf hybrids that seemed to be emerging, maybe, it seemed an awful lot to ask of a 20-pound Bichon Frise. My dog thinks he's darn near a wolf, but I've never had the heart to tell him that he's a Bichon. So I went out to confront them instead. I yelled at them, let them know that this was my territory and their presence was not desired. They yelled back at me, louder, got more excited, enough that I could hear them breathing as they ran in the dark and the woods outside. I'd approached the source of the first sounds boldly and with confidence, the way you're supposed to confront potential predators, to let them know that you're not weak and not afraid of them. But as I stood there facing the woods, I heard sounds of movement in the woods to my right, and more sounds over in the woods to my left, and I realized that the coyotes were moving into position all around me. I'd seen one of them a few days before. It had approached to within 20 feet of me, golden eyes and a black nose at the edge of the forest. It was big, German Shepherd-sized, maybe 70 or 80 pounds. I'd seen a young adult just wandering around my yard a few days before that, definitely a wild creature, but maybe 50 pounds of canine. And I realized that if I continued acting the way I was in potential danger. So I fell back to the house while the coyotes continued yelling and barking, and trying to taunt my sick old little warrior out to be a meal. So instead of yelling,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?